This is the all-new Hyundai Aura, and it is the first car by the Hyundai brand in the year 2020. Just like in the previous year, Hyundai came up with the NIOS version of Grand i10. So you may call this car as a NIOS version of Hyundai Xcent. Let's find out by reviewing this car.
We have got this car courtesy of Ultimate Hyundai Panchkula. They have an awesome inventory of all the Hyundai cars, and you can know more about them in the description below.
In the traditional garage review style, first we're going to talk about the styling of this car, and we'll make our way up to the features, practicality, and last but not the least, the most important part of any car review, the comfort.
But first, let's talk about performance. The Hyundai Aura comes in 3 engine options, out of which 2 are petrol and 1 is diesel. Well, the car that we're reviewing today has a Kappa 1.2 litre petrol engine capable of producing 84 horsepower and 116 Newton meters of torque. Whereas the other engines contains one turbo petrol 1 litre engine and the other one is a diesel 1.2 litre engine.
Let's talk about the styling of this car. At first glance, we can say that this car is very similar to that of the Grand i10 NIOS, and is mainly because of the headlamps of this car. To prove my point, I'll show you the glimpse of both the cars. But anyways, let's move on. The grille of this car, which Hyundai calls as the 3D mesh radiator grille, also integrates dual DRLs, which have a unique boomerang design. The one feature that I specifically like in all Hyundai cars are the projector fog lamps. And so there is no doubt that this is my favorite feature in Hyundai Aura as well. The side of the car reveals 16-inch diamond cut alloy wheels, which have a beautiful design. The other thing I would like to mention is that the materials used by Hyundai are of very high quality. For example, the door handles of this car has a beautiful chrome finish, and the C-pillar has a piano black finish. At the back, we have Z-shaped LED tail lights, which have been beautifully integrated with each other using this chrome bar. And above that, we have an Aura badging along with the Hyundai logo. But one strange thing about this car is that this car has only 2 parking sensors instead of the usual 4. So that was the styling of the all-new Hyundai Aura. I'll be marking this car 4 out of 5 in terms of styling. I would be deducting 1 mark because the rear of this car is controversial to a lot of people.
And so now starting with the features. I first want to talk about getting inside this car. This car has a feature called keyless entry and go, which we have explained a lot of times. So I would think we don't need to go into the details of that. But there is one thing very interesting, and that is the key fob of any new Hyundai car. No matter which color the car is, white, black, the key fob will always be brown. I don't know why Hyundai has this obsession over the brown color, but that's what Hyundai gives, and so we'll have to accept that. And now getting inside the car, I want to talk about the features inside. Namely, the 2 main great features in this car in the front seats are the infotainment display and the center gauge display. But as this car is similar to that of the Grand i10 NIOS that we have reviewed, we won't be getting into the details of that. If you want to know the details of the center gauge display or the infotainment display in this car, well, you can watch our Grand i10 review that we have done. You can find a link to that in the description below or any information card on your displays right now. But we still will be talking about the differences between the Grand i10 NIOS and this car, namely cruise control. If you look at the steering wheel over here, we have controls on both the sides, over here and over here. Over here we have the normal controls that were there in the Grand i10 NIOS as well, increasing the volume, track tuning buttons, picking up a call, ending a call, voice control and the mode selector. But over here is where things start getting different. We have the cruise control option in this car, which is a great feature, especially at this price point. To increase the speed, you just have to push it up. Decreasing speed, you can push it down. Setting it, just press cruise over here. And then if you want to cancel cruise control, just press this button over here. And so that was one feature that is different in the Hyundai Aura than the Grand i10 NIOS. That is for the front seats. Now there is one feature of wireless charging as well, but you'll know more about that in the Practicality session, as we will be covering that as a center console storage. And now with that said, let's move on to the rear seats. The rear seats of this car, the only feature that I want to talk about is the rear AC vents in this car, which is a great feature, especially who travels a lot in the rear seats, he will know that why this feature is a great feature. And moving down below, we also have a 12-volt charging socket over here, which is great. And so those were the features of the Hyundai Aura. Once again, if you want to know the detailed analysis of the infotainment display and the center gauge display, well, you can watch our Hyundai Grand i10 video as well, which is there in the description of this video. Anyways, if I had to give a rating to this car on the terms of features, well, that would be a 5 on 5. Now, why I say that? Because cruise control and the presence of rear AC vents in this car at this price point is amazing.
And now for the practicality session, we're gonna first start about the glove box in this car. The glove box in this car is pretty standard, but the good thing about it is that it's ventilated. Above the gear lever, we have a storage cubby, which actually is a wireless charging pad. So if it were me, I would avoid keeping stuff that could damage it. Below the gear lever, we have two cup holders and a small storage cubby. There is no center armrest in this car, so there is no big center console storage. Moving to the rear seats, we can see that we only have seat pockets for the passenger side seat and not for the driver side seat. Other than that, we have center armrest which contains two cup holders. And now for the most important part of our practicality session is to do with the trunk. But first we're going to talk about opening the trunk. There are only two ways to open this trunk. The first is on the key fob and second is on the driver side footwell area. Looking from the outside, this car doesn't seem so big, but seeing such a spacious trunk in this car is surprising. So, does that compromise with the legroom of this car? Well, we have to see in the comfort section of this video. And with that, we complete the practicality session of our video. I would be marking this car 4.5 out of 5 in terms of practicality, and I would be deducting half mark because of the absence of the center console armrest for the front seats.
And now for the comfort in the Hyundai Aura. When I first sit in these seats, the seats are of fantastic quality. They are very soft fabric seats and they also have this very good bolstering around me. So I am gripped in my place. So even if you drive this car vigorously, well, you won't wiggle around in the car. So that is great. The other thing is that the driver's side seat has this feature of the height adjustability, which is great. And obviously being the front seats, we can also move the seat back and forth and the backrest back and forth using these buttons over here, which is great. Alright, so now comes the real question, because remember in the practicality session when we asked that does this car compromise with the legroom? Well, no, this car has a lot of legroom. I'm not joking when I say that I have about 5 or 6 inches of legroom, which is fantastic. The competitors of this car are the Maruti Suzuki Dzire and the Honda Amaze, and to be honest, none of those cars had so much of legroom, which is great. I don't know how Hyundai has done this. Such a compact car and a big boot space and a lot of leg space. I don't know where they have compromised exactly. Well, they're able to make such a car, which is great and really applaudable. Now, the next thing is headroom. Well, once again, I have about 2 or 3 inches of headroom available to me, which is great. So, if I come to the rear seats and I sit in them, you can see that even for a tall person, I can see that there is a lot of under thigh support as well. This is a major problem in many cars, that the tall people don't get a lot of under thigh support in the rear seats. Well, the Hyundai Aura has thought of every single thing. So if you're a child, a teenager, an adult, the seats of the Hyundai Aura are just for you. And so that was the comfort in the Hyundai Aura. Comfort is the most important thing while you're buying a car, and the Hyundai Aura, well, it's taken care of every single thing. If I had to give it a rating, that'd be a massive 5 on 5 because of the rear seat comfort in this car. Like I said, the competitors of this car, the Maruti Suzuki Dzire and the Honda Amaze, well, both of the cars don't have so much legroom, and the amount of comfort even for the tall person, like the under thigh support, well, the Hyundai Aura has taken everything under control. And so with that, we complete our review of the all-new Hyundai Aura. According to me, this is a fantastic car. You've heard the ratings of this car that we have given: styling, features, practicality and the comfort. Well, this car is top notch. And for you guys, if you like this video, give us a thumbs up. Tell us in the comments if you want something that we can improve on. And don't forget to subscribe to Garage Reviews. Remember that red button over there, it's free, and share this video as much as you can. Once again, before ending this video, I would especially like to thank Ultimate Hyundai Industrial Area Phase 2 Panchkula for lending us this car for a review. Thank you so much.